Hi there and welcome back, where today we're going to be talking about Yabai T-Shirts Yasan's latest song, which if I'm correct is called CHIRABARE Summer People, or something like that. As usual, they like to keep the titling as confusing as possible. These guys are certainly not looking for the Google clicks, that's all I can say. Although if you did try and Google any of their songs, you're not going to have to worry about coming across other bands who have songs of the same name. So, what did I think? Well, I've got to be honest, again, I'm getting more and more into this band. This is one of those groups who we first started covering very slowly. Like, I heard their most popular song, which was the kind of, is very coupley. I can imagine why it was popular. It's related to weddings and couples. I liked it, but it didn't really grab me as much. Then I started hearing more of the songs, and just as I hear more, I'm really getting to the core of what makes them them. And, you know, what a quirky, interesting band. I've drawn some comparisons to groups like Yabai, and that Yabai also have the sort of higher-pitched female singer who still is doing very interesting things with that and encountering that against other sounds, you know, making something interesting and playful, which has a lot of musical quality. However, I must admit, I think that Yabai, as great as they are, they're now trying to bring that sound into more of a mainstream setting, whereas Yabai T-Shirts Yasan seem very set into a long career of not having to worry about being mainstream at all. In fact, they seem to only want to get more and more crazy as time goes on. Sorry about the squeaky chair. That will never be fixed. So, in relation to this song, which direction is that going? Well, this is a rather interesting one, because I would say in many of its core ways, we would have to say that it's hitting a lot of the things that you'd say are pretty much what you'd expect from Yabai T-Shirts Yasan. It does have a punk undertone. It does have a chanted sort of punk refrain that it comes back to. It does have a catchy chorus and plays between its two vocalists going backwards and forwards to really highlight the contrast in their voices. Luckily, however, I would say that this is fresh enough that it doesn't feel like it's recycling something. It really does feel like a song that has its own identity, although it is quintessentially very much a Yabai T-Shirts Yasan song. Now, I was trying to write down all the various things that I noticed, and it was virtually impossible to keep up. But I mean, you have things like, there's a little almost, I wouldn't say Beach Boys like, but getting onto that sort of idea of having like rock and roll with vocal melodies. There's almost a Beach Boys like quality to some of the pre-chorus. There was the punk chants, as I mentioned, which were really good for accenting a lot and giving a lot of energy. That comes up in various guises throughout the song. There was like a techno synth solo happening at one bit, which had a kind of a Poly-6 vibe almost, if there wasn't the punk underneath. Well, even then a little bit. Sorry, my phone keeps on beeping. Apologies. Why is it? I know so many people who like to message you and then press enter after every single thought they have. It's like, this is a little, just as a little aside, if you're ever messaging anyone, especially if you know they make videos, type all of your thoughts, and then when you finish, then press send. Don't send every single sentence separately. Just saying. Anyway, moving on. So, in relation to this, yeah, there was so many qualities going on that went right down to the very ending when you had usually they like to play their songs out with a big finale, which I really love, and they did that again here, and you had the brass coming in the background, which gave me vibes of going back to songs off of The Great Escape by Blur back in the 90s, and, you know, even then some ska songs, and all kinds of things. There was just so many different little vibes that came in here, but just lending a little bit to make the sound fresh, making a little bit more of the sound sort of come out, you know, just basically expanding on what was there. And it did all of that without detracting from being a song that is at its very core, as I say, pretty much doing what Yabai T-Shirts Yasan seem to do as their core sound. And that's really what you want from a single, isn't it? A really good single. You want the catchiest song that still sounds like the band and yet also does enough playful things to give it its own identity. So I really, 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 really enjoyed this. I've been repeat playing it quite a lot since I first heard it a few hours ago. I always listen to songs several times before I give it a review. This is one where I've been ready to give it the review very quickly because it was just that infectiously catchy. Moving on to the video, they do seem to have a thing about doing these one-take videos that I really enjoy. Sometimes they work better than others. They always have an infectious fun, once again, the same as the music, which I think is a good thing. This goes through similarly their album covers, their music videos. They know the rough technique that they like to invoke at the core of what they do, but they keep it interesting. Now, luckily, none of those things seem to have run out of steam, as was the case for this song. And the video, once again, fun. I like the fact that it's a summer video, but they're doing it in the snow and doing summery things. For someone like me who doesn't like the boiling hot weather we have right now in Asia, knowing that you can watch a video which makes you feel cooled down is very relieving in the summer. So watching this video was almost like licking an ice cream. It was the music video equivalent of that. It was fun, playful, but also nice and cool, and not showing you too much heatwave stuff that would make you feel uncomfortable. So yeah, I guess the core of this review is that they are continuing to do what they do. I hope it never becomes tired. I hope they keep on finding ways of keeping it fresh. Certainly from what I've heard as someone who's still relatively new to them as a band, but, you know, okay, I've known them for a few years now, but I've been sort of catching up with listening to their music slowly. I do think that we need bands like this. Same reason why I like bands like Necry Talkie. I think you need those bands who can do something poppy and fun, but do it in a way that isn't disposable, that has a true quality, and combining it with a little bit of punk and rock elements, not being scared to dip your toes into various different styles and genres is always a quality that makes everything better. So in my opinion, as I've now said probably way too many times in this video, great stuff, gonna be checking out more, and yeah, my hair, I really need to cut my hair. Just looked across, saw the monitoring screen, I was like, yep, it's still there. So, tell me your thoughts below, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao ciao.